Good evening and welcome to the Sun's Tory leadership debate here at News UK's headquarters by London Bridge. It's the final showdown, the last head-to-head between Boris Johnson and Jeremy Hunt. Just two rules. First, no speeches. You just have one, you'll get one at the end. Second, please do not talk over each other. To the first question, and it's Luke Black.
Who should the great British public put their trust in over Brexit and other issues, Boris or Jeremy?
Modesty would normally forbid me from advertising my own credentials, but there's nothing for it.
The British people have also got to have a Prime Minister they know will not make promises that he cannot keep. And let's be clear, what people want. I think Boris is going to come in now.
What if the House of Commons blocks your no-deal Brexit? What's your plan B, Mr Hunt?
Boris and I were both in the Cabinet in December 2017.
I resigned it.
You resigned. Actually, Boris, let's be clear. Let's just actually get a little bit of accuracy here. You didn't resign when the backstop was agreed in December 2017. You stayed in the Cabinet. You were actually Foreign Secretary when that backstop was agreed.
In the event that your deal cannot get through, would you rather a second referendum or a general election?
I dimly recollect that my adversary recommended a second referendum after June.
He said democratic endorsement, and that we had with the general election.
Okay. Oh, you wanted a democratic endorsement.
How likely is a trade deal with the US once we have left the EU with all the demands the US will put on us?
We are not going to put the NHS up for sale in any trade deal. We've made that clear, and actually President Trump has also made that clear that that wasn't what he meant in some comments of his that were misinterpreted. Not the first time some of his comments have been misinterpreted. But
once we've left on October the 31st, correct, we will be able to, Jeremy, note, we will be able to...
My birthday's on the 1st of November, so I actually do know this part of the year very well.
We will be able to free trade.
And it's going to be a great birthday present
Mr.
when
Hunt,
Prime Minister Jeremy Hunt delivers Brexit.
Mr Hunt.
It will be. It will be. Could amen to that, Jeremy.
What would you do to change the view of MPs being no more than self-serving posh boys?
Posh boys. Yeah, as a Charterhouse boy, I'm never going to criticise Boris for going to Eton. That would be totally wrong. And I say this, I think we have, in the Conservative Party, not done enough to show that we have the broad background of people in our party that represents the country we want to serve.
Theresa May has condemned President Trump today for telling 4 black and Asian congresswomen, and a Hispanic one as well, to, and I quote President Trump here, go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came. Was it a racist remark by President Trump?
I've said what I said. I think it was totally unacceptable in a modern, multiracial country.
Why wouldn't you condemn it as racist then?
Well, you can take from what I've said what I think about President Trump's words.
Mr Hunt, was it a racist remark?
I think that, look, I'm Foreign Secretary. This is the President of the country which happens to be our closest ally. And so it is not going to help the situation to use that kind of language about the President of the United States.
We don't even know who you're going to be living in Downing Street with. Can you tell us?
I can answer that question. He'll be living with me. He'll be at number 11 and I'll be at number 10.
Am I being offered the post of Chancellor in Germany? It's breaking out into outrageous harmony.
Right, you're also...
It's got to end.
The EU have already said they're not going to deal with alternative arrangements. They're not going to reopen the withdrawal agreement at all. It's all well and good, but they're not going to listen.
But that, I think, is because, and I'm sure Boris would agree with this, because they obviously like the backstop when that was on the the
Yeah. I like the way Jeremy is talking now.
Good,
I like the new spirit of optimism.
Good. Join my cabinet, Boris.
Come on.
Before we... Of course, you will give a woman the top 4 job.
I haven't had a discussion with Boris about which role he might do amongst those 4 jobs, and
I'm not going to help you. But I'm not going to help you with your gender quota, much as it might think might.
So that's
you've got such liberal views on gay marriage. We've now heard that you would absolutely fit in very well. So
you've been accused by some of trying to boost your own charisma by bringing your wife out with you on the campaign trail. Not by me, by some. How do you plead? Is that unfair?
I plead guilty. She's massively more charismatic than me. She's an amazing woman. I'm very lucky to have her. Thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, the only rule on this one is a yes or no answer, please.
Yes or no?
Yes or no. When was the last time you cried?
This isn't yes, no. That's not a yes, no question.
Fine,
Exactly.
How can you possibly?
Stick to your own
That's a trick
rules,
question. Refusing to answer.
You don't want to answer?
I'm only answering yes, no questions.
I think the last time I shed a tear was when I came out of Parliament to find that my bike had been nicked.
Mr. Hunt, is Jeremy Corbyn personally anti-Semitic?
Unfortunately, he may be.
I'm afraid he's effectively culpable of that vice, yes.
Mr. Hunt, would you give Boris Johnson his old job back as Foreign Secretary?
Boris, you've got nothing to worry about. You will have a very, very senior role.
Well, you've given me Amber's job. You've given me Amber's job already. I mean, I think
yes, it might be that.
Will you continue to freeze fuel duty like the Conservative government and the coalition government before it did for the last 8 years?
I'm not making any more blooming promises, you know.
Right.
Okay,
Mr. Hunt.
I agree with Boris.
Who do you want to win Love Island? I can't decide for you.
Amber. Amber's in Love Island.
I pledge to unite our party and unite our country, because after this leadership campaign, we need to come together, and I'll make sure that happens.
We need now to get on with it and to believe in Britain. Thank you very much.